All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Halalyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right. So what I want to show you today, all right, is all the uproars and all of the uprisings that are going on in the world today. All right, because this is biblical prophecy. All right, that there shall be uproars of the people in the world. All right, there's nothing but uproars and uprisings, right? Protests and coups, you know, all going on all throughout the world, man. This whole entire world is in chaos right now. All right. Now, this is prophecy that is written in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, that there should be uproars of all the people of the people in the world, man. All right. And I'm going to bring that out, and then I'm going to show you all the uproars and the protests. I got a list of them right here, man. All right. Under ChatGPT, because I asked ChatGPT, please give me a list of all the uproars and uprisings that are currently happening in the world right now, including protests and coups, because this is prophecy, man. All right, you might hear about one or two protests, but nah, man, this is going on all throughout the earth right now, man. All right, so I got a list of everything that's happening in the earth right now. All right, to show you that, you know, this prophecy is coming to pass right now. We're living in that time. You know, we're living in that time, man. All right. So this is 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. All right. And I'll start at the first verse, but the point is in the 3rd verse. All right. So it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And that's what we are supposed to do. All right. We are supposed to measure the time diligently. All right. We are supposed to know what time we are living in, man. We're supposed to be watching. All right. We're supposed to know what's going on around us, what is happening in the world. You can't be walking around like a zombie not knowing what's happening, man. You have to know what time you're living in, especially if you're a prophet. You have to be watching and knowing and warning the people, letting them know what time we are living in. All right. And that's what I'm doing with this video. All right, I'm showing you that we're living in this time, the time of the uproars of the people in the world. You know, we're also living in a time of the wars and rumors of wars. We're also living in a time of the mark of the beast. We're living in a time of America's destruction, the time of Yahweh Shai getting ready to return and redeem the elect of the nation of Israel, which is you Negroes, you Latinos, and Native Americans. We're living in that time now. So we measure the time diligently, man. We know what's happening, know what's going on. We know what time we're living in. All right. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. Yeah, we see the signs pass. We're seeing all the prophecies and the signs pass. All right. The signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. The uproars of the people in the world, the rumors of wars, the wars, kingdom rising against kingdom, nation against nation. We're seeing all these signs pass, man. All right. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's what the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is doing right now. He is visiting this earth. All right. He is visiting this planet which he made, man. All right. You can see it, man. Is the Lord not visiting this earth? Are not all the prophecies coming to pass? The mark of the beast is getting ready to be brought forth. The uproars of the people was happening. Wars and rumors of wars. Kingdom against kingdom. Nation against nation. This third world war is about to pop off, which is also biblical prophecy. All these prophecies are popping off, man. All the prophecies that the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been prophesying. All right, which are the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner. All right. I read from verse 1 again. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's exactly what you see happening right now. There is nothing but uproars and uprisings of the people in the world today, man. Uproars, uprisings, civil unrest, protest, coups going on, right? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. That's right. Prophecy of the word of the Lord, man. All right. And you see earthquakes happen daily, man. All right. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, just because you don't hear about these earthquakes, that don't mean they're not happening. Hundreds of earthquakes happen daily. All right. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find that website that lets us know all the earthquakes that are happening in real time, right? So let's get it. Earthquakes globally. Let's see if I can get it like that, right? Earthquake list, is this it? Let me see real quick. Earthquake list. Let's grab it. Latest earthquakes today. This is just today. All right. This is just today. This is all throughout the world just today. All right. 20 minutes ago, you had an earthquake. What's this supposed to be? Chicago. All right. In the United States, you had an earthquake in Mexico, earthquake in Turkey. All right. Another earthquake in Turkey. All right. Earthquake in Indonesia. Another one in Turkey, St. George. All right. Another one in Indonesia. Another one in the United States, Anchorage. Another one in the United States, Oklahoma City. You had one in Greece. This is all today. This is about an hour ago. All right. From 20 minutes ago to an hour ago. These are all earthquakes that are happening now. All right. Chile, New Zealand, Greece, Turkey. Another one in Switzerland, Indonesia, Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica. All right. Greece, United States, Indonesia, Greece. This is all just today, man. All right. Come on, man. You people, y'all just don't know what is happening and what is going on, man. Have no idea what time you're living in at all. All right. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's the time we're living in. All right. And I'm going to show you that's the time we're living in. I got a list of all the uproars and uprisings and protests and unrest in the world. This world is in complete chaos right now. All right. So you got major ongoing global unrest. All right. 2026. All right. Iran nationwide uprising and violent crackdown. All right. Uprising revolutionary protest. It's ongoing right now. All right. Since late 2025, intensified in 2026. All right. Mass anti-government protests across Iran demanding regime change. All right. Extremely violent crackdowns and thousands killed, arrests, executions, and internet blackouts reported. All right, it says now tied to the wider Iran U.S. Israel war. All right, one of the largest and deadliest protest movements in the world right now. So you got this uprising that's happening right now. All right, you got global anti-war protest. All right, the Iran war. All right, international protest wave ongoing since late February 2026. Where worldwide. All right, what do the scriptures say? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. All right, so this is worldwide. All these uproars and uprisings are worldwide, man. All right, Europe, Middle East, U.S., Asia. All right, demonstrations against the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, protests both against the war and against Iran's regime. All right, some have turned into riots and clashes. That's also prophecy. All right, sedition among men. All right, one people shall stand up to fight against another people with swords in their hands. That goes into riots and civil wars. Civil wars, race riots. All right, that's also in the second book of Esdras. That's the 15th chapter. All right, this is the time we're living in now, the time of prophecy, bro. All right, it says examples of active locations: Greece, Turkey, France, UK, Pakistan, India, US. All right, Spain and Italy, large anti-war protests. All right, London, Al-Quds protests with the rest. So this is all these uproars are happening in this world right now. In all these places: Greece, Turkey, France, UK, Pakistan, India, US, Spain, Italy. All right, London, you know? And you got Cuba, all right? Cuba anti-government riots. All right? Civil unrest, which is also biblical prophecy. All right? Active flare-ups March 2026. All right, what's happening? Protests over food shortages, blackouts, economic collapse. All right, because you got the blackouts in Cuba right now. All right, the entire island of Cuba is in a blackout right now. All right, government buildings attacked and set on fire. All right, see that's the uproars of the people in the world. Anti-communist chants and clashes with authorities. All right, considered the most serious unrest in Cuba in years. Bro, this whole world is in chaos right now. All right, you got Ghana post-election protest, all right, ongoing since January 2026. All right, protests over alleged election fraud, calls for President Museveni to step down, killings and mass arrests reported. All right, part of a broader Gen Z protest wave in Africa. All right, United States, all right, expanding protest movements. All right, you got the No Kings protest. What do the scriptures say? They shall not regard their kings nor princes. All right, that's also second. That's also second Esdras, the 15th chapter. That's going into the uproars of the people. You know, the sedition among men. No kings they shall not regard their kings nor princes. All right. It says United States expanding protest movements. All right, No Kings protests late March 2026. All right, nationwide planned plus ongoing mobilization. All right, opposition of federal polices and leadership. All right, thousands of planned protests across U.S. All right, broader anti-government movements. All right, includes immigration-related protests, anti-Trump demonstrations. Earlier, Free America walkout, January 2026. It says the U.S. is seeing frequent, organized, nationwide protests. All right, though not a single unified uprising. All right, so it says Yemen protest repression. All right, state repression. All right, ongoing right now. It says what's happening. Reports of excessive force against protesters. All right, linked to broader instability in war conditions. All right, other notable unrest. All right, it says protest hotspots tied to the Iran war. All right, South Korea. All right, you got them protesting in South Korea. Israel, anti-government, anti-war protests. Spain, All right, Gaza and Iran war protests, UK. All right, pro Palestine and counter protest. All right, so you got all this happening in the world right now. All right, you got coups, regime overthrows. All right, recent but relevant. All right, it says Madagascar military coup. All right, October 2025, still affecting stability. All right, no brand new confirmed coups this week, but instability remains high globally. All right, the big picture says over 70 plus countries have had significant protests in past years. The biggest drivers right now: war, all right, economic crisis, all right, in Cuba and others, elections and authoritarian governments, Uganda, Iran, political polarization, US and Europe, and in war, especially Iran conflict. Bottom line right now, the most important active unrest globally is Iran uprisings, all right, global anti-war protests, Cuba unrest, Uganda protest, all right, U.S. protest movements, all right, Yemen protest repression, all right, yeah, all right. So you see everything that's going on in the world right now, all right. It says largest worldwide wave, economic collapse driven, post-election conflict, large scale but less violent, all right. It says if you want, I can map these on a world map or rank them by violence level, size, or likelihood of turning into revolutions. All right. So you see, this is a list of all the uproars and uprisings of the people in the world in these last days, these last seconds, these last nanoseconds that we're living in, man. Bro, it's if it's bro, it's more than evident. It's more evident than it has ever been that we're living in the last of the last of the last days, bro. All right. So this is to show you, to give you a list of all the uproars of the people that's happening in the world right now to show that we're living in that time. This time right here, man. All right, let's read it again, starting from the first verse. All right, he answered me then and said, this is chapter 2nd Esdras chapter 9, starting at verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Woo! All right? The end is manifest is more evident than it has ever been that we're living in the last days, that Yahweh Shai is getting ready to return, man, and redeem his elect. All right? The tabernacle of David. All right? The house of David. And set them up to be kings and gods and rulers of this planet Earth once again. All right, but let me go back over here, all right? Because you also got the civil wars. It spoke about civil unrest. All right, and you have the no kings protest. That's also prophecy. So let's get that. Let's get chapter 15. All right, the civil unrest going into, civil wars and race riots, sedition among men. All right, let's look up this word sedition real quick. I think I spelled it right, sedition, all right, definition. Let's get it. Where we can get the etymology of the word sedition, right? Sedition. Let's get it in the Merriam-Webster, right? It says incitement or resistance to or insurrection against lawful authority, and that's what you're seeing in the world right now. Matter of fact, let's also get the etymology of it. All right, sedition, right? It says rebellion, uprising, revolt. You see, this is all happening in the world. Um, Concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority, violent strife between factions, civil or religious disorder, riot, rebelliousness against authority. This is all happening right now. The No Kings protest. That's what that is. You know? All right. So let's go into the prophecy. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people and swords in their hands. That's going into the civil wars, the race wars and race riots. For there shall be sedition among men, all right, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, all right. The No Kings protest, all right. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power, all right. So this is all happening right now, all right. This, one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Civil war, race wars and race riots, all right. For there shall be sedition among men. That's what that is. And invading one another, all right. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power, all right. So the point of this whole lesson is to show a list of all the uproars of the people in the world. All right, everything, all the types of uproars of the people that's in the world, the protests, all right, to show you that we're living in that time, man. The time of we're living in the time of prophecy that's being fulfilled, man. All right, so Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, this lesson is edifying or was edifying. Call Halalyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. All right, until the next one, Shalom, Shalom.